Lewis, good to see you. From what we saw in Australia, it looks as though you're really enjoying this new car, feeling more comfortable. How good does that feel after last year, and how excited are you for what might be possible this year? Obviously, Mercedes strong out of the blocks as well, but from Ferrari's side.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun last week. It's been just also to have extra testing was fun for us because obviously normally it's only a day and a half in a car or something like that before the first race. So to get more running and then a lot discovered through the race from start to end. We knew that Mercedes were looking really strong, and little did we know it was as big a gap that we saw, but not an impossible gap to close. It's just going to take all hands on deck, and that I'm confident in my team doing absolutely everything back at the factory to try and close that gap.
Thank you.
We know how good you are around here. It was obviously, you had the sprint victory here last time, Lewis, and did maybe some of the characteristics of the track help the Ferrari package as well? I mean, are you thinking this maybe is a victory opportunity this weekend?
I think it's far too early to say, and secondly, we were 8 tenths behind in qualifying in the last race, so we haven't added 8 tenths of performance to the car in 4 days, so no, I think it will still be very tough to beat the Mercedes this weekend. You also have to assume that the others are going to be picking up pace, like McLaren picking up pace, and the second Red Bull being in the fight as well. So I think we'll just focus on doing the best job we can and extracting the most from the car.
Yeah, more or less the same question. I believe always a place you enjoy going to, Shanghai, in this track. What are your expectations for this weekend after, I think, a very promising opening of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we expect Mercedes to be still ahead and very quick, but I think we've learned a huge amount in the last race, as everyone probably has, but I definitely think we can extract more from the package we have. It's not 8 tenths, but definitely we could hopefully extract a bit more from the car this weekend. So I'm excited, really excited.
Charles, always positive to start the year with a trophy. I know when we were speaking in Australia, you were talking up Mercedes' advantage throughout the weekend, but do you think Ferrari have the potential to really take the fight to Mercedes as the season goes on, from what you saw in Australia and what's in the pipeline?
I really hope so. In qualifying, it's going to take a lot of work in order to change the advantage that they have. I mean, 8 tenths in Melbourne was absolutely huge. I don't expect it to be much closer here. Closer for sure. There are things that we are optimizing that we haven't optimized in Melbourne, etc. So it will get better, but they still have a significant advantage. In the race, we are closer, so I hope that starting from this weekend, we can put them under a bit more pressure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and talking about here and maybe the specifics of this track with some slow speed corners, might they help? And also, because it's a sprint weekend, understanding your package, and it feels like you guys have a good understanding of your package. Does that enable you to hit the ground running here, and how key is that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we have a bit of we've done a massive amount of work in the background, let's say, to be ready for a weekend like this, because it was already a massive amount of work for a normal weekend to be ready with those cars that are so complex that on a sprint weekend it's probably double the work, because you've got very few laps before needing to be optimum for qualifying. So it's going to be a huge challenge for everybody, and I think in the past or last year, one free practice session wasn't such a problem. I mean, you could be suboptimal because of setup by 1 or 2 tenths. Here, being suboptimal with the engine could mean 5, 6, 7 tenths, which is so it's going to be very important to do a good job during FP1 and to be ready in sprint quali in order to have the best result.
And do you already have a good idea also with the experience from last week how you're gonna manage the battery on that long straight here?
Yeah, we have an idea, but then there are obviously always scenarios in which you are not completely ready, which is the fight with the others, what your opponent is going to do, when he's going to use the boost button, where, and these are scenarios that moves constantly, because as a competitor we will want to surprise our competitors, and so you are not necessarily ready for these kind of scenarios.
And will we see the Macarena rear wing this weekend?
For now, I don't know.
this is the Chinese year of the horse. Do you think that it could be also the year of the horse, of the Cavallino in Formula One?
Well, I really hope so. I mean, it's obviously, for me, I've been many years with the team, and I'm waiting for the year of the horse since the first year I joined the team. So I hope that this year is our one, but surely we are against very tough competition. I think Mercedes is quite a bit ahead at the moment, but little by little, I think we can.
Isaac, good to see you. I know it was frustrating not to finish the race last time out in Australia, but how pleased were you with the pace you displayed across the weekend? Laurent was pretty happy, he said you absolutely nailed it from that side of things.
Yeah, honestly I was happy for first weekend, no big mistakes. Honestly I had no regrets, I had good qualifying, good build up to the weekend, had a very good first 50 meters of the race and then that was it, so I did all my part and yeah, we'll try again.
Has it all felt pretty natural for you so far at Red Bull, on and off the track? And what about your chances this weekend, sprint format, all of that going on alongside
I feel very good in the team. So yeah, they're giving me all the chance to succeed, and yeah, this weekend's gonna be tough for everyone. So much learning to be made, and only having one practice session before it starts. It's going to be hard.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you already know what the problem was on Sunday?
No, honestly, I don't even understand it. So it's just a deep PU issue. Yeah.
But is it something that you faced like
before? No.
Just before? No,
No.
At the start, and then suddenly it was like, what is this?
Yeah. Literally after turn one, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
How do you rate this track in this whole energy management? Of course, it's different than Melbourne. It should be better. Eh?
It's apparently from our calculation, it's in the top 4 best track for energy.
Yeah. Okay. So, in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah. Okay. Should be fine.
Yeah, should be better.
Should be better. Yeah. Well, that's good, especially in qualifying.
Yeah.
You're close. You're close. Maybe not up there with the Mercedes, but you're close with the Ferraris. They've got the flip over rear wing this weekend, the Macarena wing, which should make them super low drag on the straight.
Yeah.
Might that move them ahead of you, do you think?
Yes. I think they're already ahead, to be honest.
Really?
I think they just messed up a bit qualifying, but because they've been ahead the whole weekend, and in Q3, no. So, yeah, it's good. Honestly, I don't anticipate us to be, again, I don't see myself being third on the grid, but we never know.
Liam, good to see you. A strong showing from the team last time out in Australia. Potentially a double points finish without that issue at the start. Any more that you picked up on that side over the last few days?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, we reflected on, we went through everything in the race, and we know what happened at the start, and we know what happened during the race, and a lot that we're learning at the moment with these cars. So we'll obviously continue to apply that this weekend. But yeah, as you said, it was a positive from a speed point of view. In Melbourne, should have obviously ideally had 2 cars in the points, but we'll obviously come here this weekend and try and replicate what we did last week.
Yeah, you touched on it there. Hitting the ground running in that way with these new regulations must give you a good bit of confidence coming here and the races ahead.
Yeah, it's positive. It's a very different track here, so I think you'll see swings from teams week to week depending on the type of track. And for us this weekend, we're a little bit unsure as to how we'll go here, whether we'll be as strong as we were in Melbourne, but yeah, we'll find out tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, back to that start incident, Liam. Are you saying via the learnings that sort of thing can be avoided, or is it always likely to crop up? I mean, not nice for you, not nice for Franco Colapinto either.
He did a very good job to avoid that. I spoke to him after the race, and it was just an issue that we had, and something that we hadn't had too much before that, but now that we've had it, we understand why, and we'll obviously fix that going forward. So it's a shame, but it's something that we can avoid. And we've had good starts in pre-season testing when everything is working correctly, so we'll try and apply that this weekend.
Your sport is about rivalries. You seem to have an ongoing one with Checo Perez. Do you think that'll ever get sorted out, or are you two always going to be in this kind of friction?
I don't know. I think our focus is to be racing is to be racing, where we qualified last week, and that's what we're going to try and do this weekend.
I am. Racing Bulls is a junior team. It's to make young drivers getting better. You have a rookie next to you. Does that mean that you have to rely a lot on the engineers in this new regulation, and that they have to teach you more than if you had more experience?
I think maybe in some ways, but at the same time, obviously, anybody that's coming into Formula One now, especially on Red Bull side, is obviously very strong. Obviously, Arvid's had a great weekend in Melbourne as well and shown that strength. So it's positive from a team side of things for both of us to be trying to push the car forwards and develop as much as we can. So I think, we have a good team around us, and we're both in a good position to try and improve the car.
Nico, a shame to see what happened on your side before the race in Australia, but still a really positive way for Audi to enter Formula One, scoring points. How much did that mean to the entire team?
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, one crying, one laughing, it is what it is. Nobody in the team obviously wanted or deserved, what happened. A difficult one to take always if you, get these DNSs. They're not pretty, they're not very desirable. But I think it's good that at least, Gabi had a clean race and obviously kicked it off with a decent result. So, we'll start the season and take it from here.
Does it give you quite a lot of confidence coming here? I mean, I know it's a completely different track, different conditions and so on, but feel like you're in a good place arriving here for your second race and sprint format as well, so some opportunities there.
Well, obviously I missed out on all the race, so no learnings there, in the car. Obviously I followed it closely on the pit wall in a passive learning way, but obviously what happens in the car and all the management stuff, I'm a few steps behind probably than the other guys, but we'll try to play catch up, just learn quick. Obviously it's a sprint, so limited practicing. But either way, look forward to it. It's a cool track and exciting to head straight into a sprint.
Nice. Thank you.
Did they get to the bottom of the issue, the technical fault, very quickly?
Yeah, of course we did. It was a technical issue. I think we're not going to go further into detail exactly what or how. But of course, teams working very full steam and focused on that to make sure we get on top of our issues there. Yeah,
with a sprint weekend, obviously a car which I suppose has been decently prepared at this early stage of the season, you'd think will go better. Do your team fall into that kind of category? I mean, or not? What do you sense? And in terms of understanding the package a little bit from pre-season and being in decent shape heading into a weekend like this with not much practice?
I think we're still very early days and evolving a lot and learning on a daily basis. In every run, obviously now we have one car worth of data, in a race trim. Coming here is a different circuit, so we'll have to relearn and re-optimize with energy stuff. But like I said, every team, the learning curve is huge now at this early stage.
And just finally, should it be a better track for these new cars? The harvesting and deployment a little bit more straightforward and sort of less unusual.
Hi Ollie, so best of the rest for you last time out in Australia. You must be really pleased with that start to the year.
Yeah, it was a good start to the year, exactly what we wanted really. Qualifying was a bit disappointing, we didn't quite maximise everything, I would say, and there are a few teams that were simply quicker that we probably didn't expect in qualifying, but the race was good. We pretty much achieved what we needed to. We beat our competition. We were obviously not in the same race at all as the top four teams. And they seem to be at this stage in a different league than the rest of us, but I'm happy with the performance that we have done, and that gives us a really good feeling to start the year.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it there, but how nice is it for the team to have that result after so much hard work kind of going into preparing for the new regulations?
It's been an incredibly busy start to the year for everyone, and particularly for our team. It's not easy to get the car out running, and we from the shakedown to the first test to Bahrain, to get to Australia with not much time to spare. The team has been working incredibly hard, so to validate all of that hard work with a great performance is really what everybody needed as a boost to start the year. And even just heading into the garage in the office today, it's made a difference, and everybody is in high spirits. And of course it's easier to do all of those hard hours and all of that hard work when you have points to show for it afterwards. So I'm really happy, and we've got to keep it up now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, Ollie, there was fair bit of pre-season publicity that Haas could be top of the midfield, to actually deliver on it and to look forward and think it's a position you can defend, fifth in the constructors. Are you looking forward to that as well?
Bit early, only 23 races
I
to
know.
go, but you know it's a good start and exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
You know, compared to 12 months ago, it's night and day. So I'm really happy and proud of what we've been able to do as a collective. You know, it's early days and that track, you know, on qualifying and really prior to Sunday, we didn't expect to have that race pace that we had, and I think we looked to be the best of the rest on Sunday, but in qualifying that was clearly not the case. We were behind Audi, we were behind VCARB, so we need to see how that develops. Do we have a car that just lends itself a bit more to racing? We don't know. Do we have a car that maybe is going to perform a bit better on a track like this, where we have a bit more energy and you know, are a bit less limited on recharging and lifting coast and all of these things? This is something we're going to find out this weekend, so I'm excited to see what we can do. It's a sprint as well, so there's a lot of you know, challenges and extra challenges on that side of things, but excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, just briefly, yours was a well-prepared package. You spent a lot of time getting to know what you had in winter testing. Given that it's a sprint weekend, does that work in your favour here?
I would say so, and you know, we're lucky to have a lot of support from Ferrari on the side of things and the power unit side of things, and straight away from F1 in Australia, things were working in the correct direction, and we were 99% there, which is good, and obviously that's going to be critical this weekend in China. So you know, as a team, we're very thankful for Ferrari's input, and hopefully in a weekend like this, which is going to be challenging, hopefully that can, you know, help us start on the right foot. And
Valtteri, good to see you a few days on from Cadillac's F1 debut. I know it was a bit unfortunate not to make the end of the race, but so much work went into getting to that point. What's the kind of overriding emotion from it and everything that you've talked through over the last few days?
Yeah, you know, it sounds weird that I didn't finish the race, but still everyone's feeling positive. But at least we finished the race with one car, which is good. And yeah, it's just a big milestone, really for the team. And here, now coming to the first sprint, feeling good, of course. We want to do better than what we did in Melbourne. And yeah, just really can't wait to get back behind the wheel and see what we can do.
How much more potential do you think there is in the package as it is right now, before we even start to talk about development and new parts and so on?
I think there's a lot more potential. Like, I think we have a decent base car, but we are clearly lacking performance. We're lacking downforce. But yeah, there's a lot of things in the pipeline, and it's very early steps for us in Formula One. So yeah, for sure we'll make progress, no doubt.
And final one from me. Graham said before starting this adventure, the first goal was to earn the respect of your rivals. Do you think you've already gone quite a long way to achieving that with what you did in Australia, turning up, and what you put in over the course of that weekend?
I think so. I think there was many doubts about us as a team being ready, but we've been there at every single test, every single session last weekend. So yeah, step by step for sure we'll earn that respect, especially when we start to get faster.
Comparing yourself with the rivals that you have in this moment, where do you think you have more strength?
Well, it seemed like Aston is in quite a big trouble. Like, we had troubles as well, but at least, you know, we could finish the race with one car, so that's kind of our strength. And yeah, everyone is so excited about this team. Everyone wants to improve so bad, so I think the team spirit and having this feeling of everything is new, that's our strength. You know, everyone is working so hard.
That's cool. And sprint race this weekend, are you excited?
Sprint races I've always preferred to the normal Grand Prix. It's just one practice and straight into it, so I'm very happy that.
Checo, good to see you a few days on from the team's F1 debut. You made it to the checkered flag. Just what did that mean to yourself and the rest of the team, entry only being confirmed just over a year ago?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think it's been a massive achievement for the whole team. You know, unfortunately we didn't finish the race with Valtteri, but we managed to get a lot of information, a lot of pit stops, a lot of race routine for the team, for a team that has been working together probably for a very short period of time. But at the same time, we know, you know, that things have started, and it's not going to be easy to close out the gap, you know, because you're fighting the best teams in the world, and to be able to basically close the gap is you have to develop the other teams. So I think we're facing a massive task on our hands, and it's great. That's why we are here for, and to me that's the main priority that I want to see development.
Yeah, you touched on it there. First box kind of ticked, but development being key. So what can you tell us about the developments in the pipeline? You're here to fight with the rest of the grid, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about numbers, and we want to be closing down every single race. We want to be able to close the gap to the midfield, race by race, and I think we have to clean up all our operational side, race side, the strategy. Just keep growing as a team, and that's why we're here for.
And just the final one from me, another new experience for the team this weekend with the sprint format. So what's your thinking coming into this one? A very different track compared to Australia, of course, as well.
Yeah, that will be a nice challenge, to have the sprint event, and I think that's something that will be very enjoyable.
Good test for the team. It's first sprint weekend that Cadillac will have, so that'll be interesting. Was there something you took away from Melbourne where you thought, okay, right, that's really interesting. I think we can develop on this in terms of the new rules as well as within the team?
I think obviously it was a massive achievement for a team that has been working together for the last 4 months to finish the race. It was a shame we didn't finish with both cars, but I think let's say the first take is done, and now it's all about development, all about closing the gap. We have a lot of experience in the team. We have all the budget in place. We have all the resources. So it's down to us really to close that gap.
And in terms of the way that harvesting and deployment worked, is there anything you thought in the race, this is interesting, I didn't...
Yeah, obviously we are all learning, drivers and engineers working together. We obviously being a customer team, we are very limited with what we can do with Ferrari or what we can get from them. We are at the moment we're basically getting what they have, and we have to deal with it. But it's very hard for us because we are like 3 seconds away. So it's really difficult to be able to extract the maximum out of that, let's say, deployment, the strategy they have. But I think there's something that we also need to work closely together in that regard.
Hi Franco. Perhaps wasn't the start to the season that the team might have wanted last weekend in Australia, but what lessons do you think you can take forward from that weekend into this weekend in China?
I think a lot, to have completed the race with both cars was very positive for us, and lots of data, lots of things to still understand, but I think a lot to learn. Every lap we do, every session that we complete, it's very positive for the team to keep understanding stuff. So it was a good learning process and a good weekend to keep understanding things. So we are happy with that. Of course, not happy with the performance or the pace. We were expecting to be further up in front, and we are working for that to understand where we are lacking pace, and I think soon we'll come with solutions. I've been lucky and I've been very quick to react, and that was thank God what saved the car and what saved a lot of parts of the team, and what managed me as well to complete the race and to take a lot of data from it. We would have been a big disaster in that main straight, and I was very glad that we got at the end complete the race, even with the penalty. It was a good learning to do the whole laps, and to do the full race distance was very useful for the team and for myself. So on that side I'm grateful to have done it, but of course that there is a lot of things for the teams to learn, to understand. There is different factors in the races that everyone needs to get better at. The consistency is one thing that no one has yet, and that you do maybe one start and it's good, and you do the after one and it's the worst start of your life, and that's things that we need to understand better and get better at. Still a lot of issues, still a lot of things unknown and that are happening, that are coming out of nowhere, and I think we are in the process of getting through all these issues and things that we don't predict that are going to happen, but they suddenly happen, and I think it's just a race of time, of trying to adapt the quickest we can and try to get on those issues as quick as we can as well.
Yeah, I mean, Did it take you a while to process exactly what? I mean, incredible reactions in the Lawson incident, but it's very hard to prepare yourself for that kind of thing, isn't it? I think?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really prepare yourself. It's something natural, you know, that you do, and then to avoid the wall, you have to rotate the car with the throttle, and at the end of the day, it's something that you do naturally. You know, I was quite close to Liam, and yeah, I was glad that then we could continue after that both and to finish the race. But yeah, it was quite sketchy and very close. Hopefully, it doesn't happen every weekend, because at some point something will happen. But yeah, we were ready for it. But of course, still I need to find a lot more performance, a lot more pace, and fix all those issues.
How would you describe the challenge you are facing? Because first time in Shanghai, it's a sprint weekend with this new regulation, so it just looks like a huge task for you.
Everything is new, but I think I've been in these situations before. I've been 24 with sprint weekends with a car that I know, for a few races in F1, so it's not fully new for me, but everything seems very unknown at the minute, and I think it's going to be important to adapt quickly to the car, to the track. Learn quickly this track that is very technical, it's quite tricky, these long corners and a lot of different speeds, and I think especially with the PU as well, you know, to adapt to the energy management and all that will be tricky, but you know, we have another opportunity here and try to make the most out of it.
Lance, all things considered, you managed to get some decent running across the race last time out in Australia. What were the key takeaways and lessons from that, and how useful is that data coming here the last few days, what you've been able to dig through?
Well, we got out on Sunday, which was good. We're still lacking a lot of pace, so yeah, we know the areas we need to improve in. Just yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, probably. Nothing really is going to change this weekend because there's such a short time between Australia and coming here. But yeah, we'll just keep trying to bring as much as we can every weekend.
You touched on it there. Did Honda's countermeasures help very much last weekend, and how long do you think it's going to take before more progress is made on that front?
I just drive the car, so that's a question for Honda.
Sure. And what do you draw on as a driver in these tricky times? It's obviously a difficult situation, it's frustrating, but what do you draw on as you go into each weekend?
Well, we're a team, we win and we lose together, so right now it's difficult for everyone in the team, for the mechanics, for the drivers, for the engineers. No one's happy about the situation, but you know, we keep persevering and yeah, just showing up and doing what we can and trying to get the most out of every weekend.
Thank you.
What is the parts situation for this weekend, Lance? I mean, can you advise on that? Have you enough to get you through the weekend, as it were, battery-wise in particular?
I don't have the answer to that question. I think we'll see. It's not ideal, but there's other people that know the answer to that question better than me.
Have you got to basically treat this, I think you intimated after Melbourne, it was a bit like a test session. Is that what it's going to be again this weekend?
I think so. I mean, we're not fighting to win the race, that's for sure. So, yeah, we're going to try and still just improve the issues we have and just keep going.
Yeah, I know Adrian's at the factory. Maybe that's the best place for him to be right now to work on solutions there. Just in terms of the Honda relationship, can it be held together? I mean, people are reading that it's strained inevitably because of what's happened. Can you keep it on a good footing? Is it essential? It must be, given the situation you're in.
Well, like I said before, we're a team, so you know, everything that is on the car is you know, yeah, is for the same objective, for the same goal, which is to try and win races. And right now we're struggling. No one's you know, happy with where we are, but you know, we all just keep pushing forward.
Carlos, good to see you. Not the start to the 2026 season that the team would have wanted, but what do you take from that opening weekend of the year?
The main thing is that it's clear to us, that we need to improve in every area of the car, and we clearly are not where we wanted to be, and clearly not happy about the weekend in Australia, but it's just given us all the indications of where we are weak and where we need to improve.
Do you think there are some easy wins to find some pace over the next few races, and what about the development plan for the car going forward?
I think in the very, very short term, so the next 2 races, I don't think there is much. I think our performance will not vary from what you've seen. I'm more hopeful that going into that, let's say, second quarter of the season, we'll start seeing some progress.
I mean, for sure there is a lot of potential. It's just going to depend, of course, on if we can extract that, I guess, throughout the year. The gap, of course, was quite big, and also in the race, I think if I would have started, let's say, a little bit up front, I think the best that I could have done was 1 spot higher, because we didn't have the pace of the top 4 cars. We also had a lot of degradation and graining. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming races, if we can close that gap a little bit.
Do you think the gap between you and the top 4 cars was track specific to Albert Park? Do you think you'll be closer here?
Impossible to know. I mean, honestly, it's such a jungle out there at the moment. I think that it's very hard to really know. I mean, I would hope that it gets a bit closer, not even bigger than the gap that it was in Melbourne. But it's clear that at the moment we cannot fight, with those cars.
So does having a sprint weekend so early in the season complicate matters for you?
I guess for everyone. I mean, it's difficult for everyone.
Okay, look, final one from me. You've confirmed that you're doing the Nürburgring 24 hours, a little bit later in the year. Why does this race hold so much interest for you?
Because it's one of the best races in the world. It's one of the best tracks. I mean, honestly, in a GT car, for me, that's like the perfect speed round there. I think if you go anything faster, it can be a bit dangerous in places. But yeah, it's just everything. I mean, I've been watching it, of course, for a long time. I know a lot of my friends, of course, that have been racing in it already. They say it's one of the best things ever. And I like racing other cars as well. So this was basically the first time that, I could do it proper. So yeah, I'm very excited. To see also how we are going to perform. I mean, it's a very stacked lineup and field in general. So I'm looking forward to it.
Can you imagine doing a demonstration lap in a Formula 1 car there?
Yeah, I was not allowed. Otherwise, I would have done it already.
You've asked, right? All right, thank you for that, Max. Alex, let's come to you. Now, there were high expectations surrounding Williams this year. Just how much of a shock is your current situation?
I think it's not where we want to be. I think as a team, we are disappointed where we've started, but it's just how it goes sometimes. We've got a clear plan to come back. I think the gap to the top of the midfield even is quite large. So we do need to we know where the issues are, and I think it will take a bit of time, maybe a little bit more than we would like, but we have a clear strategy to get back.
And a similar question to the one I asked Max, do you think the gap was exacerbated in Albert Park? Do you think you'll be closer here?
Truthfully, I think maybe we'll be a bit further away here. I think this kind of track doesn't normally suit us. If you look at last year, we were quite strong in Melbourne. That track normally goes well for us, and when I look at last year, we fell back in China. So I think we still have similar characteristic issues as we'd had last year as well. So this track's quite front limited, and it exposes cars that have a bit of understeer, and I think we'll have that this weekend.
All right. Good luck with that. Thank you, Alex. And Gabby, let's come to you. Points on Audi's debut last weekend. Having had a few days to reflect on that result, can you describe the scale of that achievement?
It was a great weekend, I must say. I really didn't expect that. Obviously, coming from Barcelona, shakedown and everything, we had a lot of things to work on. And then Bahrain, obviously, we had a little bit of an understanding where we were standing, more or less. But going to Q3 in our first try, then scoring points, it was something very positive that, I was just extremely happy to be able to achieve that already in our first weekend. obviously, and as you said as well, tracks change and also, results. So we're gonna try our best here and understand actually where we are also standing in different types of track.
On a personal level, this is year 2 for you in Formula One. How much more settled do you feel inside the sport now?
Much more, I must say. Like the way I'm dealing with things now, also the understanding about how I want to approach my race weekends, outside of the race weekends, also how I'm working with the team, knowing these people are already for 2 years now, is a completely different thing. I just feel much more relaxed, much more also compromised to the project somehow, that is finally becoming a reality to be Audi. And just probably I'm enjoying much more now than what I was at this moment last year, and hopefully we can keep it going like this.
All right, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. We'll start with the broadcasters. And David, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Max, question for you first. I think Isaac Hadj is like the 7th different teammate you've had at Red Bull. You've had a chance to see him now over a race weekend and a pre-season. What would your assessment be of Isaac Hadjar? How good do you think he is, and his future for the sport? Where do you think he could go?
Yeah, good. I mean, he had a very solid first race weekend. Unfortunately, of course, in the race, didn't really get to show that. But I think it was a very good start, for the team. And also, when I had my troubles in qualifying, for him to be up there, that's exactly what we need as a team, So, a good start. So I hope that we can continue that way.
Thank you, Max. Next one. Any more from the broadcasters? Yep.
Question for you three, please. In the beginning of this understanding process of the year, new season, new car, new movement, everything. So is it good? Is it better to have a sprint race here in China already?
Who'd like to start? Gabby, go.
Yeah, it doesn't really, I think, makes a big difference. Still we're gonna learn a lot through the weekend. If it was a normal weekend, we would probably just be, testing things in FP1, 2, and 3, and then going to quali with more or less what we think is the best. Here is not gonna be different. I don't think we're gonna have everything maximized before qualifying. So we're gonna be testing things and learning things also in the sprint quali, sprint race. But yeah. I think it's also something that gives a little bit more spiciness, in the weekend to push a bit further and faster.
Yeah, same as Gabby. I think if it happened in Melbourne, I would say maybe not the smartest idea, but this track is a little bit easier with touch wood. It's a bit easier with the deployment side of things, so I don't think it will be as penalising, or lack of track time isn't going to be the end of the world. So.